Welcome to Portage Lake. Nice to have you, Andrea.
Thank you so much for having me.
And where are you originally from?
I'm from Bogota, Colombia.
Okay. And you moved to Canada?
About 16 years ago. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
I moved from Las Vegas to Thunder Bay. And then about 6 years ago, we moved to North Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in Thunder Bay first and then North Bay?
Correct. Yes.
And what do you think of Northern Ontario?
Northern Ontario, well, it's a very interesting place, very different from where I grew up. I grew up in a city with like millions and millions of people in very close quarters.
Yeah.
And in Northern Ontario, it's a lot more peaceful and there's a lot more space. It's just a completely different rhythm to what I was used to growing up. But, it's beautiful and people are friendly and we have a very active film industry. So there's been work opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to access growing up.
That's awesome. And when did you get into film?
I got into film about 5 years ago, so when I moved to North Bay.
Okay.
I used to be a dancer and I had a dance studio in Thunder Bay. Yeah, and then, I closed that cycle and with my husband Piotr, we moved to North Bay. And my first job in the film industry was working for Hard Rock Medical, which was produced by Derek Durio.
Derek, yep, I've met him.
And Leanne Kubakowski actually offered me the job as a production coordinator, and the rest is history.
Cool.
Yeah.
What was your role on, like, what kind of day-to-day activities on that show?
Yeah, being a production coordinator, basically we are the person who makes sure that the logistics keep flowing. So we're the nexus between crew, cast, and production. We book all travel, all hotels. We send the call sheets every day. We answer to any questions that any cast or crew member would have. We liaison with agents, with actors. So we're kind of that middle point that makes sure that the gears of production continue rolling and we're the center that anyone can reach out to if they have any questions or concerns. Production coordinators are kind of like the invisible hand that keeps the production flowing smoothly.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I understand, Derek, it was a fairly low-budget TV show or a middle budget or?
I would say middle.
CBC? Was it a CBC?
It was TVO.
TVO, okay.
TVO, but it was a very good show. I actually really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, it had really good reviews, everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was very well written, to his credit, and very well acted. We had a very good crew, very good cast. So yeah, I got lucky that was my first
You weren't
television
tainted by
experience.
some kind of horror.
I honestly thought this whole thing was going to be easier based on Hard Rock Medical. So I feel like it was a little misleading because it was so good.
Sure. And did you stay with production coordinating, or I understand you're now doing some editing?
I am, yeah. I moved to production managing and line producing, but my heart is more in post-production. I'm good with numbers, but I'm bad with confrontations. So I do very well working in my room on my own with my own thoughts. I'm a bit of an introvert, so post-production suits me very well.
Is that more on the storytelling side then?
Yes, yeah. So you get a lot more creative control. As production managers and producers, we deal a lot with like very logistical, very financial, human resources issues, vendor, relationships. So it's very, on the problem solving, on the issues of reality and money and human conflict. That's where we live when we're doing production a lot of the time, and not so much in the actual content. When you're an editor, then you're a lot more immersed in actually how to best tell the story, how to engage the audience, how to bring the director's idea to life through your cutting, and how to move people. You're dealing more like how can I bring out the emotion in the story. So it's a lot more creative, and you always have to problem solve in both positions. But in editorial, you're dealing more like pace and music and performance. You feel a lot more like a creative contributor. Production, it's just making sure that the house is not on fire. It's everything.
Would you say that dancing, maybe a weird question, but having the dancing and choreography is anyhow related to cutting film?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think in my bio, I think I actually described it, like dancing and editing are very related because every cut is like a step, the way that you make these small decisions and how it moves the story forward is kind of the same way that you choose your step within a big choreography to create an emotion, to create an effect in the audience. So I actually think they're very related, and they're both very linked to the pace, music, and just the natural way in which we humans absorb information. So you can't just do all the steps at the same time the same way. You can't just have a million cuts and have the story happen very quickly.
Sure.
You have to sometimes withhold in order to capture the attention. So they're very closely related, I think.
Nice. And then I understand you did something with this Canadian Film Center.
Yeah. Last year, I was lucky enough to go to the Editors Lab.
Cool.
Which is, so every year the Canadian Film Center has their labs, which has the Directors Lab, Producers Lab, and Editors Lab. And we also work with the Actors Conservatory, like the CBC, CFC Actors Conservatory. So it's a group of about 19 people plus the actors, 66 people, so 25 of us in total. And we get to spend the whole fall making films together.
Right. So is it one of the things where like somebody from the director's lab directs the movie, someone from the editor's lab edits it, the actors that are signed up for the conservatory acting? Is that how it works?
It's not always the case. We didn't get to all work on the project like that, where everyone in the lab is part of the same projects, but we do get to collaborate in each other's projects. So the editors and the directors work very closely together. We got to work in the actors' projects closely together, with the producers. So we're lucky in the editors lab that we get to work with everyone. But
you all get assigned. I picture it kind of like you hear about the Sundance labs, where you get your own little cottage for doing editing. So like each film has a cottage, like a little couches and things. It sounds very cool.
Yeah, we have the editor's cottage, and we're lucky that way too, because we have our own space. The other labs are kind of nomadic.
Yeah.
We have our own space. We have our own office. We decorate it however we want, and then the directors come to us, or the actors come to us, or the producers come to us and hang out in our space while we cut. So I think in the editor's lab we're very lucky. We really got to create a very nice little group.
Awesome.
There was 4 of us, and we each have like a corner of the cottage, and we have a little kitchen. So the editors work, all day, every day. So we were always together. It was.
And you're getting feedback from different departments that I guess
that's so
come in.
important. Yeah. So we do have mentors that come. So people who are oftentimes CFC alumni, they will come and give us feedback. And that was super important because, you as a filmmaker know that we really depend a lot on that outside view.
Sure.
In order to make our projects good, because at some point you do lose perspective. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are. When you are looking at the same footage over and over with this other person who's the director in the room, at some point you lose perspective. Yeah. So to be open to feedback is very important. And if you're getting feedback from really experienced people, from people who work in the industry, who have been doing this for a long time, it's really what's going to make you improve. So I think it's one of the main components of the lab.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's like when you're a filmmaker and you spend so much time to get a shot, you're just going to see that, I can't lose this, because do you know what the personal cost of getting this shot? And the editor says, well, it didn't work. It doesn't match the film. It's got to go. Yes. You say, what? So I can see how you get personally attached to things, but you with fresh eyes just see it for what you have, not for what you think you had or whatever was going on that day. It's like, well, this is what we have.
Yeah, and you end up developing a similar thing in editorial, where you work really hard on a cut and you fall in love with this cut and you think it's a masterpiece, and then you go and show it to someone completely unrelated, and they're like, we don't get it.
They don't feel it.
Or like the pace is off, and you have to let it go. So the same way that as filmmakers you get attached to the shot that costs you a lot of work to get, as editors we can also get attached to certain cuts that maybe are not working as well as we can. So being open to that outside feedback for all filmmakers, it's really crucial. Yeah.
And what was the last film that you cut?
Well, I am working right now on Phantom Line, which
Okay.
is a web series
Yeah.
that we produce with licensing from Bell. It's the Bell 5 project in North
heard
Bay.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the first ones to be made in North Bay. So
Cool.
we produced it, and so that's what I'm cutting right now.
Tell me about the film. What's it about?
Well, it's actually a web series,
Okay.
and it is about a journalist who is investigating these mysterious disappearances that happen in North Bay, and she starts getting more and more involved in what's happening. And
She's a detective?
She's not. She's a journalist.
Oh, journalist, sorry.
But yeah, but she's kind of personally connected to the mystery in ways that she's yet to discover.
And journalist like a podcaster or like
No, like a journalist, like, old-fashioned newspaper journalist.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, so the writer and director is my husband, Piotr Skowroński.
So you guys have a husband and wife team?
Yeah. So we sometimes work together when producing our own content. He's a very good director and cinematographer, although this project was shot by our friend Scott Baker. So yeah, we I often work in other people's projects, as a production manager or as an editor. But this time we got to make our own project, which is a
That's
lot of
awesome.
work.
But I can see how it's going back to the thing where we were talking about falling in love with your darlings. It's like, well, now you got to tell your husband, we got to cut that piece, man. It's not working.
Yeah,
And you
I'm
bring
very
it
good
home,
at that.
right?
Yeah, I'm very good at that.
How do you do it? How do you make the separation or
I can't
navigate
stop
it?
myself
Okay.
when I don't like something. You
You just
I can't
secretly
hide
cut it and hope that he doesn't
No,
remember that
no.
it was there. Right,
You
cutting
can-
it, right.
You cannot get away with cutting something that the director really cares about without them realizing.
Sure, because that seems like the easiest way. It's like, oh, isn't this so much smoother?
I mean, oftentimes you will make the suggestion, of
Right.
course. As editors, it is important for us to give our honest opinion.
Sure.
So it is a tricky relationship because the director and you're not the same people. So, hopefully you will find someone who will be creatively compatible to you.
Yeah.
And then I think that's the best kind of relationship where you have similar taste and you can kind of build on each other's ideas and opinions.
Yeah.
And I think with Piotr we can say we have that where we have similar sensibilities and we appreciate similar things. But if I don't think something's working, I will make it known that I don't think something's working. But
Sure.
you can't just cut it. You can offer the suggestion, but it's the director's piece in the end. So.
And do you have plans to make films of your own, or have you made films of your own?
No, I am not that kind of filmmaker.
Okay.
I like editing. I like solving the puzzle, and I like finding the emotion and I like finding the music. I very much like the post-production workflow, and I can produce, I can do, can I be the mastermind behind either production or post-production.
Sure.
I don't actually like the actual shooting as much, so I leave that to Piotr. So we complement each other.
Cool. But it's good that you came from production, so you know all the elements that come together, right?
Yeah. But the actual being on set and the amount of patience that takes, I don't think I have it.
Right. Just show up with the goods when you're done.
Yeah.
You can make
Yeah.
something out of
Just
it.
give me footage and I'll fix it.
Yeah, nice. That's really cool. And how did North Bay play into it, like with this particular production? Was it?
Well, the North Bay played a big role in this production. I mean, the goal that Bell 5 had was to, develop community television in North Bay.
Yeah.
So I know this model exists in Southern Ontario. And I think we're probably the first ones up north that have the Bell 5 TV model. So North Bay had to be a big part of the script. And so North Bay plays as North Bay in the series.
Okay.
And, it's the backdrop in Sarah Beckett, our main character. That's where she lives. That's where she grew up. Yeah, so I think it was very important. And, the community in North Bay made it possible for us to be able to complete this web series. We did not have a lot of resources. So without the support of local businesses and,
You mean like free locations and?
free locations,
Restaurants.
a lot of free locations. Yeah, we have had the support of restaurants like Good to Go. They donated meals to the crew.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they were very supportive. Like a lot of people that stepped up, and even people we have never met. They just liked the idea that we were doing this and wanted to support the local effort and just helped us out of the kindness of their heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like people that we know that we've worked with before, like Northern Picture Cars. Like the people that you work with now come to your aid when it's your own project. So
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's invaluable, right? Like
You came in on budget, and sounds like is it going to go up pretty soon? Close.
yeah, it will be available, I believe, in September.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it looks great. So I'm hoping people will.
And anything else in the pipes, like next projects or?
Well, I am absolutely focused on the post-production of Phantom Line. So I think from here until this is wrapped, this is my only project. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we are going through interesting times in the Canadian film industry.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So I know there's some projects that we want to make, but we're going to see what happens.
Do you think that there's going to be a renaissance culturally in Canada
I hope
to this
so.
like made in Canada kind of sticker?
Yeah, I
people-
hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about time. I know we often look at Quebec as an example of what can be done with a local industry. And
Yeah.
I think the Quebec film industry has really developed their identity and helped them become stronger province.
Yeah, you have like a star
Culturally
network
united.
there, like
They
actual.
do. Yeah, they have a star system. And I think Ontario is missing an opportunity by not investing more in their own industry. But as things are shifting, maybe there is now more energy to put some funding behind making Ontario content that reflects, the lives of Ontarians. So we'll see.
And building up the culture, so
Yeah.
that it's like,
I'm hoping that maybe what seems like a problem will become an opportunity.
yeah, absolutely. Hopefully. And just one last question, just because I'm selfishly working on a pre-visualization tool. Do you see that any role for the editor if you had a pre-visualization tool where a filmmaker might consult an editor and just say, here's a rough cut of my movie done, very, rough and tumble, but can you give me some feedback on some anticipated things, anything like that? Do you see that being?
Yeah, definitely. I think, it's a tool that has been used now for a long time. Lots of movies are, done in previs basically before they're shot, and it gives everyone a bit of an insurance of like they know what they're making and what they're getting into. And I can definitely see how editors could have
You
a
could
lot of
say,
input.
make sure you get that shot, whatever the cost, or, something like that. Get some feedback.
Yeah, and I think it's something. I don't think in Northern Ontario we've had that tool being used very often. At least in the films where I've participated, I don't think we've ever used it. But I think it's becoming a lot more accessible to have these tools. So I definitely see them being used more widely. So absolutely.
Amazing. And one last question, just about the CFC. But the CFC is going strong. It's just going to continue.
Yeah.
It's such a cool.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
It was really great to go last year and be part of that community.
That's awesome.
There's so many well-known filmmakers that show up, and you just feel like, oh, maybe I'm in the right path. I'm surrounded by very talented and interesting filmmakers.
And you're in the club now, right? You're an alumni, which is
I am. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
But I think just going through the experience and just meeting the folks at the CFC and just seeing how much they believe in their mission and how hard they try to make these labs happen. There's a lot of fundraising that has to go on. And I think people who have that kind of belief in our own projects are very important to the Canadian industry. So they've been...
Hopefully they'll play a role in this whole cultural renaissance that we're predicting.
Given the new situation, I mean, the community is going to have to unite and come up with solutions as to how to best utilize this to our advantage. And
Absolutely.
I think the CFC will play a role in that, yes.
Awesome. Well, Andrea, thanks for coming out
Thank you
to
for
Portage
having me.
Lake. It's my second interview, and hopefully we'll have many more episodes, but I can't wait to see your film. And
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Can't wait to show it.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.